Hey guys, Jacob here, and today we're going to look at this entry-level GL62 MSI gaming laptop. There are several versions of this model, but in this video we'll be going over the 6QF-1225 model. So let's get going. Starting at the lid, we see a matte finish cover, which is a bit of a fingerprint magnet, but at least we've got the MSI Gaming Series badge and logo. On the bottom we see ventilation, a GeForce GTX sticker, and 15 screws holding the entire bottom cover in place. You can remove it to replace some components, which I have already done. Sorry, warranty. On the back we have CPU and GPU fan exhausts on either side. And on the front we find 3 activity lights in the middle and 4 speakers, 2 on each side. The speakers can be a little quiet because of the downward slope on the front of the laptop, but you should be fine if you're listening to music and movies in a quieter place. But let's take a look at the I/O. Starting on the right, we have the DVD reader writer, one USB 2.0 Type A port, an SD card reader, and the power jack. Moving to the left side, we have separate headphone and microphone jacks, a USB 3.0 Type C port, 2 USB 3.0 Type A ports, 1 mini display port version 1.2, an HDMI port version 1.4, a gigabit Ethernet port, and a Kensington lock. Opening up the laptop, we have a 15.6-inch Full HD 1920 by 1080 TN panel screen, a 720p HD webcam with 2 microphones beside it up on top and the MSI logo near the bottom. The lower area has the Intel Core i7 and GL62 6QF stickers. The keyboard, trackpad, and number pad are held alongside the power, MSI Gaming Center, and Cooler Boost or full fan mode buttons. So what's on the inside? Well, it holds an Intel Core i7 6700HQ quad-core hyper-threaded processor clocked at 2.6 GHz with a turbo boost of up to 3.5 GHz. 2 8GB memory sticks for a total of 16 GB of DDR4 2133 MHz SODIMMs, upgradable to 32 GB by replacing them with 2 16 GB memory sticks. The graphics processor is an NVIDIA GeForce GTX 960M with 2 GB of GDDR5 memory. And because of NVIDIA's Optimus technology, the integrated Intel HD Graphics 530 is used for desktop and lightweight applications to save power. For its boot drive, it uses a 128GB Toshiba HD6 series M.2 2280 SSD, which unfortunately only uses the SATA 3 6GB interface. Plus, I believe the slot is limited to that same speed, but don't quote me on that. But at least it's backed by a 1TB 7200 RPM hard disk drive for mass storage. It also has an Intel dual band wireless AC 3165 card. I did have a problem with it when I first booted the laptop, but a driver update took care of that. Now that we've talked about the hardware, let's go ahead and look at the software and benchmarks. It comes preloaded with Windows 10 Home and a ton of MSI software, but I personally uninstalled a majority of them. It's personal preference. There is a sound enhancing program called Nahimic 2, which I actually really enjoy. Check it out at their website, linked in the description. I'm now going to compare this laptop's benchmarks with the computers that my family has been using. There are 3 other computers that I will be comparing this laptop with. First, a computer I built for my dad last year. It has a camo case, and that's why it will be called camo in the benchmarks. It comprises of Intel's 20th anniversary edition Pentium G3258 CPU. I believe it's overclocked to 4 GHz. It has an 8 gigabytes of DDR3 memory, and a GeForce GTX 650 with 1 gigabyte of GDDR5 memory. Second, the first computer I built a few years ago, it comprises of an AMD Athlon 2 X4 640 CPU, 8 gigabytes of DDR3 memory, and a GeForce GTX 760 with 2 gigabytes of GDDR5 memory. Third, a 10-year-old slim form factor Optiplex 740 series computer with an AMD Athlon 64 X2 4600 plus CPU. So old. That's 4 gigabytes of DDR2 memory, and a GeForce GT 640 that I just shoved in there, with 1 gigabyte of GDDR3 memory. And of course, my new laptop with the i7 6700HQ CPU, 16 gigabytes of DDR4 memory, and a GeForce GTX 960M with 2 gigabytes of GDDR5 memory. So here are the benchmarks. Okay, so the processing power of this CPU is pretty powerful. The other computers fell pretty far behind in the CPU processing areas, if you ask me. But as I expected, the build with the GTX 760 GPU blew away the competition in the graphics processing areas in gaming. Now some thoughts on this laptop. First off, I don't know if it was because I took the bottom cover off and put it on incorrectly, or if it's just the design of the laptop. When I would type or rest my hand on the keyboard, my arm hairs would get caught in this micro gap on the front. So it's a minor inconvenience, but you know. Second, the two faulty drivers I had to fix by reinstalling the latest drivers. One being the wireless card and the other being the speakers. Third, like any active cooling laptop, the fans can get pretty loud under full load. Luckily they don't get on full load unless like heavy processing. I never got to full load on the laptop, but with the fans on full ramp, it does get pretty loud. But the temperatures stay fairly cool. Overall, I think it's sufficient to say that the MSI GL62 6QF-1225 laptop is a fairly good contender for being just over $900. That's it. So thanks for watching. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you disliked it, thumbs down. Leave comments down below for suggestions of future videos or questions. Subscribe for more videos like this one. Have a nice day, and I'll see you guys next time.